The spaceport street was always loud. Flying vehicles passed above. Alien traders shouted prices. Metal boots hit the ground again and again. Everyone walked fast. No one looked twice at anyone else. At the corner of the street, a human man sat alone. His clothes were old. His jacket was torn at the sleeve. Dust covered his boots. His eyes looked tired, not weak, just empty. He had come to the spaceport for work years ago. Work ended, friends left, wars changed things. He stayed behind. Not because he wanted to, but because he had nowhere else to go. People passed him every day, aliens of many kinds. Tall ones, small ones, scaled ones, glowing ones. They saw him, but did not see him. Then the noise changed, not louder, but quieter. Like the street itself was holding its breath. A small figure stood in front of the man. Very small, barely reaching his knee. She was an alien child. Her skin was pale blue with dark marks. Her clothes were torn and dirty. Her feet were bare on the cold metal ground. She looked up at him. Her eyes were too big for her face. Not shiny, not curious, just tired. The human man did not notice her at first. He stared at the ground, thinking about nothing. Then a shadow fell across his boots. He looked up. The girl raised her small hand. Her fingers shook. In her palm were 3 old coins, rusty, bent, barely round anymore. She swallowed hard. Her voice came out soft and broken. "Mister," she said, "is this enough to buy a dad?" The words cut through the street, like glass breaking. People stopped walking. A merchant froze mid-shout. 2 guards turned their heads. An alien woman laughed once, loud and sharp. Some aliens whispered, some pointed, some smiled in a cruel way. "Look at her," one said. "She thinks humans sell family," another snorted. "That species throws away weak ones." The girl heard them, her shoulders pulled in. But she did not move her hand away. The human man stared at the coins, then at her face. He felt something tight in his chest. A feeling he had not felt in years, pain, anger, and something warm under it. He asked gently, "Where did you get those?" The girl answered fast, like she feared he would leave. "They were my mother's," she said. "She said they were old. She said humans once helped us. She said keep them safe." Her voice shook. "She is gone," the girl continued. "They sold me. I ran away." She looked down. "They say I am useless. They say no one wants me." She looked back up, eyes full of hope and fear mixed together. "So, is it enough?" A security drone floated closer, scanning, watching, waiting for trouble. The human closed his eyes for a second. Just 1 second. When he opened them, they were not empty anymore. He stood up slowly. The movement made the crowd lean forward. Aliens expected laughter, or anger, or rejection. Instead, the man knelt down, so his eyes were level with hers. He did not touch the coins. He did not smile. He spoke softly, clear enough for everyone to hear. "I don't need coins," he said. The girl's hand dropped. Her face fell. "I see," she whispered. "I will go." She turned to leave, small feet dragging. The human reached out, not fast, not forceful. He placed his hand gently on her shoulder. "Wait," he said. The street was silent now. Even the machine seemed quiet. He looked at her and said the words that would change everything. "You don't buy a dad. You choose one." The girl froze, not understanding, not daring to hope. Human stood up, holding her hand, and for the first time in a long time, the spaceport street truly stopped. The spaceport did not return to normal after that moment. Whispers followed the human and the small alien girl as they walked. Some aliens laughed quietly, others watched with sharp eyes. A few looked angry. The girl walked beside him, her small hand still inside his. She did not ask questions. She was afraid the answer might make her lose him. They stopped near a food stall. Steam rose from metal trays. The smell of warm food filled the air. "When did you last eat?" the human asked. His voice was calm. The girl thought for a moment. "I don't remember," she said. He bought her food without asking the price. The seller raised an eyebrow but said nothing. The girl sat on the ground. She stared at the food like it might disappear. Then she ate fast, too fast, like someone who learned hunger early. The human watched her, not with pity, but with quiet care. "What is your name?" he asked. "Lyra," she said, her mouth full. "I'm Tom," he replied. She nodded. Names were not important to her anymore. Around them, eyes followed every move. A tall alien with metal skin spoke into a wrist device. A merchant zoomed in with a recording lens. The spaceport loved stories, and this one felt strange after she finished eating. Lyra looked at the ground. "You will leave me now?" she asked softly. Tom shook his head. "No," she blinked, confused. "I can't keep you here," he said. "It's not safe." Her body tensed. Fear rushed back into her eyes. "But," he continued, "I won't leave you either." He stood, offered his hand again. She took it slowly. They walked toward a human sector office. Old walls, faded symbols, a place most aliens avoided. Inside, a tired clerk looked up, then looked down at Lyra. "No," the clerk said immediately. "We don't handle alien children." Tom placed the 3 rusty coins on the counter. The sound was small, but heavy. "I'm filing an adoption request," Tom said. The clerk laughed once, then stopped when he saw Tom's face. "System won't allow it," the clerk said. "Alien discard, no family line, no value." Lyra stepped back. She had heard those words before. Tom leaned forward. "Then write it as a challenge," he said. The clerk hesitated, then slowly typed outside. A sleek ship landed quietly. Hunters stepped out, their armor dark, their eyes focused. A bounty had gone live, small but tempting inside. Lyra tugged Tom's sleeve. "Maybe I should go," she whispered. "They will hurt you." Tom knelt again, meeting her eyes. "Listen to me," he said. "Humans don't walk away when things get hard." The office lights flickered. A warning alert flashed on the wall. "Unauthorized biological transfer detected." The clerk backed away. "I'm sorry," he said. "This is bigger than me." Outside, footsteps approached, heavy, fast. Tom stood and positioned himself in front of Lyra, not with a weapon, but with his body. The door opened. 3 hunters stepped inside. "Step aside, human," one said. "The asset is not yours." Lyra pressed her face into Tom's back, her small hands shaking. Tom did not move. "She's not an asset," he said. "She's a child." The hunter laughed. "In this galaxy, that means nothing," Tom answered calmly. "To humans, it means everything." Outside, humans began to gather. Dock workers, pilots, engineers. They stood silently, watching. The hunters paused, sensing something was wrong. Lyra looked up, for the first time feeling something new, safety, and somewhere deep in the system, a forgotten protocol awakened, triggered by 3 rusty coins and 1 human. Decision. The hunters did not move at first. They were trained to see fear, to smell weakness, to feel power. What they saw instead was silence. Humans filled the doorway and the street outside. Not shouting, not threatening, just standing dock workers with oil on their hands, pilots still wearing flight suits, engineers with tools clipped to their belts, old humans, young humans, all watching. The lead hunter scanned them. His visor flickered. "This is not your matter," he said. "Step away." No one stepped away. Tom stood still, his back straight, Lyra hidden behind him, her fingers clutching his jacket like it was the only solid thing left in the galaxy. "She is under dispute," the hunter said. "Her species has no claim, but neither do you," Tom replied. Slowly, "So no one owns her." The hunter tilted his head. "Correct." "Then no one can take her," Tom said. That answer confused them. In their world, power decided ownership. A second hunter raised his weapon slightly, not aiming, just warning. The humans outside shifted. Not forward, not back, just closer together. Lyra peeked from behind Tom's side, her heart beating fast. She had seen weapons before. She had seen what followed. She whispered, "Please don't fight." Tom heard her. He lowered his voice. "This is not a fight," he said. The hunter's device beeped. "Receiving new data, human." the hunter said. A bounty is active. You are interfering with a legal claim. Tom shook his head. Your law does not decide who deserves a family. The words spread through the crowd. Soft at first, then stronger, a human woman spoke. She's a kid, another added. She asked for help, a third said quietly. That should be enough. The hunters looked at each other. This was not how jobs went. Then the security drone above them froze. Its light turned blue. A system message echoed through the office. Ancient protocol detected. Everyone looked up. The clerk's screen lit up with old symbols. Text older than the modern council. Older than current borders. The clerk swallowed. Hard. Lie. I've never seen this, he said. The hunters backed up a step, their armor reacting to something unseen. Lyra felt a strange warmth in her pocket. She reached in and pulled out the 3 rusty coins. They were glowing faintly now, not bright, just alive. Tom turned, surprised. Lyra? She stared at the coins. My mother said they were promises, she whispered. She said humans remember. The system voice spoke again, calm, neutral. Tokens of aid recognized. Human protection clause activated. The hunter's displays went dark. Weapons powered down. Locks disengaged. The lead hunter cursed under his breath. This is impossible, he said. The clerk's hand shook as he read. These coins, he said. They are from a war long ago when her species begged humans for help. Tom listened carefully. What does it mean? He asked. The clerk looked up. It means any child carrying these tokens may request human protection. The room went silent. Lyra looked at Tom, her eyes wide. Does that mean? Tom knelt beside her. Yes, he said. It means you were never worthless. The hunters stepped back fully now. Their job was gone. Their authority broken by something older than them. Outside, whispers turned into voices, then into quiet cheers. Lyra hugged the coins to her chest, then slowly held them out to Tom. For you, she said. Because you chose me. Tom gently closed her hand around them. No, he said softly. Keep them. She frowned, confused. They remind the galaxy, Tom continued, that humans don't forget promises above the spaceport. Signals raced toward the Galactic Council, calling for review, for judgment, for answers. And at the center of it all, a small alien girl stood beside a human, no longer hidden, no longer alone. While far away, powerful beings began to worry, because humanity had just said one simple word, mine. The message reached the Galactic Council faster than anyone expected. Ancient protocol alerts always did. They were designed that way, to wake sleeping laws, to force attention, high above the spaceport, in a chamber of light and stone. Council members paused their debates. Screens lit up one by one, displaying the same signal. Human protection clause activated. Murmurs filled the hall, some in shock, some in anger, some in fear. That code is extinct, one council member said. It hasn't been used in centuries. Another leaned forward. Then why is it active now? The image shifted, showing a small alien girl holding 3 glowing coins, standing beside a human man. Silence followed. Back on the spaceport street, sirens did not sound. Weapons did not rise. Instead, official council drones descended slowly. There, lights calm and white. People stepped aside. Lyra felt her chest tighten. She remembered soldiers, cages, cold hands. Her grip on Tom's jacket grew tighter. It's okay, Tom said quietly. They're here to listen. The drones formed a circle. A calm voice spoke. By order of the Galactic Council, this case is under review. A path opened, not forced, not violent. Tom and Lyra were escorted upward, into a transport pod made of clear glass. As it rose, Lyra looked down at the spaceport, at the humans who watched her go. Some waved, some nodded. One placed a hand over their heart. The council chamber was large, too large for a child. Bright lights reflected off polished floors. Tall figures sat above them. Looking down, Lyra felt small. Again, Tom stepped forward, holding her hand firmly. State your claim, a council voice said. cold official. Tom did not raise his voice. He did not bow. She asked me if she could buy a dad. He said. She offered what she had. Some council members shifted. I didn't take her coins, Tom continued. I took responsibility. A council member with silver skin spoke sharply. Human emotion is not law. Tom nodded. I know. He pointed gently to Lyra. But abandonment is not law either. The room grew tense. Lyra was guided forward. Her feet shook as she walked. She held the coins tightly. A soft council voice asked, Child, why did you seek a human? Lyra swallowed, because no one else would listen. My people said I was weak, she said. They said I cost too much. They said I was not worth keeping. She raised the coins. My mother said humans keep promises. The council chamber went quiet. Records flashed across the walls, old footage. Human ships shielding alien worlds. Human medics carrying alien children. Humans leaving last. A council member whispered. I remember this. Another clenched their jaw. These laws were buried for a reason. Because they shame us, someone answered. Tom spoke again. She does not need ownership, he said. She needs safety. And you? The council asked. What do you gain? Tom looked at Lyra, then back at them. Nothing, he said. And that is why it matters. Lyra felt tears form, not from fear, but from something warm. The council withdrew to vote. Lights dimmed. Time stretched. Lyra sat beside Tom, her legs swinging. Did I do bad? She asked quietly. No, Tom replied. You did brave. Finally the lights returned. The central voice spoke. By ancient law and present review, the child known as Lyra is granted full human protection. A sharp breath escaped Lyra's chest. The claim of abandonment by her species is confirmed. Sanctions will follow. Lyra turned to Tom, eyes shining. Does that mean? Tom smiled gently. Yes, he said. But the council was not finished. One more matter remains. The voice said, the nature of this bond. The chamber leaned in. Tom stood taller. She is my daughter, he said. And across the galaxy, a simple word began to change everything. The council chamber did not erupt into noise. It did something far more dangerous. It became thoughtful. Council members looked at each other, not with anger now, but with uncertainty. She is your daughter, the central voice repeated. Explain. This claim. Tom did not rush his answer. He looked down at Lyra. She was holding the coins close to her chest, like they might vanish if she let go. She chose me, Tom said, and I chose her. A council member leaned forward. You share. No blood. Tom nodded. Family is not blood, he replied. It is who stays. Some council members shifted uncomfortably. This was not how their laws were written. Another voice spoke, calmer. Human, are you aware of the cost? Protection, education, medical care. This child species abandoned her because she was inefficient. The word hung in the air. Lyra's shoulders sank. She had heard it too many times. Tom felt her movement and placed a hand on her back, slow, steady. She is not a cost, he said. She is a responsibility. Silence followed. The council requested records. Tom's history appeared on the screens. Former engineer. Discharged after border conflict. No criminal record, no wealth, no influence. A council member scoffed quietly. He has nothing, another answered. He has no reason to lie. Lyra watched the screens, seeing Tom's life laid open. She whispered, You can leave if you want. Tom knelt in front of her again, his eyes level with hers. I already chose, he said. The council began to argue among themselves. Voices overlapped. Some warned of precedent. Others warned of unrest. Other discarded children will ask for the same, one said. Tom did not interrupt. He waited. When the voices paused, he spoke softly. They already are. A screen shifted, showing incoming signals, requests from other sectors. Alien children holding old tokens. Some with nothing at all. The room stiffened. This will destabilize the balance, a council member said. Tom nodded. Then the balance was wrong. That sentence landed heavy. Lyra stepped forward without meaning to, her voice small but clear. "I don't want revenge," she said. "I just want to belong." Her words carried farther than any threat. The council fell silent again, not because of power, but because of truth. At last, the central voice spoke. "The human adoption claim is unconventional." Lyra's heart dropped, but the voice continued. "It aligns with the oldest shared values of the Alliance." Light filled the chamber. New text appeared on the walls, laws rewritten in real time, cross-species guardianship. Approved. Lyra gasped. Her legs nearly gave out. Tom caught her easily, holding her steady. "The child is hereby recognized as Lyra Thompson, under full human guardianship." Tears slid down Lyra's face. Not loud, not messy, just relief. She looked up at Tom. "Is it real?" she asked. He nodded. "Yes." She hugged him tightly, her small arms wrapping around his waist. As if afraid the universe might change its mind, around them, some council members looked away. Ashamed, others watched with something close to respect. Central voice added one final note. "This decision will echo. Human. Are you prepared for what follows?" Tom looked down at Lyra, who was smiling for the first time without fear. "I am," he said. Far beyond the chamber, across stations and forgotten worlds, discarded children looked up at the stars, because somewhere in the galaxy, humanity had spoken. Softly, and the universe had listened. The news spread across the galaxy, faster than ships could travel, not as a warning, but as a story. A human chose a child no one wanted on the council platform. Tom and Lyra stood together as officials completed the final process. Symbols changed, records locked. Her status was no longer discarded. Lyra Thompson, human protected. The 3 rusty coins were returned to her, cleaned but unchanged, still old, still imperfect. These belong to the child. An official said, "They are now historical artifacts." Lyra looked at the coins, then up at Tom. "Do I still need them?" she asked softly. Tom shook his head. "No," he said. "But keep them." "Why?" "So you remember," he replied. "Not who left you, but who stayed." They left the council chamber together. No guards, no chains, just open doors, outside. A human ship waited, old but strong, paint worn from years of work. Lyra hesitated at the ramp. "This is your home?" she asked. "For now," Tom said. She stepped inside carefully, looking at every detail. The narrow halls, the quiet hum of engines. It was small, but it felt safe. As the ship lifted off, Lyra watched the council world shrink beneath them. Her chest felt light, like she was finally allowed to breathe. But not everyone celebrated. On distant worlds, leaders of powerful species watched the news with dark eyes. Human protection was spreading. Requests were rising. Old laws were waking up. "This will not stay small," one leader said. Back on the ship, Lyra sat in the pilot's seat, too small to reach anything, but smiling anyway. "Where are we going?" she asked. Tom thought for a moment. "Somewhere quiet," he said. "Somewhere you can learn." She nodded, then frowned. "What if they take you away from me?" she asked. Tom stopped what he was doing and knelt beside her. "Then the galaxy. We'll have to try very hard," he said. She leaned against him, her head resting on his arm. For the first time, she slept without fear. Days passed, then weeks. Humans across stations began doing something strange. They started asking questions. Where did this child come from? Why was she alone? And when answers were not good, they stepped in. Human shelters opened. Mixed species schools formed. Medical ships changed routes. Not because the council ordered it, but because humans remembered something old. If someone asks for help, you answer. Lyra woke one morning to voices on the ship's screen. Children, alien children. They were watching her story, eyes wide, hope growing. "She looks like me," one whispered. Lyra touched the screen gently. "They are scared," she said. Tom nodded. "I know. Can we help them?" she asked. Tom smiled, slow and proud. "Yes," he said. "We already are. But far away." Ships gathered in secret. Not for war, but to stop change. Some feared humans, not for their weapons, but for their kindness, because kindness could break systems, undo control, and rewrite the future. As the ship jumped into hyperspace, Lyra held the coins tightly, then loosened her grip. She no longer needed proof. Somewhere ahead, trouble waited, but so did something stronger, a family. Years passed quietly, not with explosions. Not with wars, but with change. Lyra grew, not fast, not slow, just enough. Her skin darkened to a deep blue, strong lines forming where fear once lived. Her eyes stayed large, but they no longer looked empty. She learned human words first, simple ones, home safe, family. Tom taught her everything he could. How to fix broken machines, how to listen before speaking, how to stand still when others expected fear. They moved often, not running, just helping. Wherever they went, children waited. Some held old tokens, some held nothing at all. Lyra always knelt to their level, like Tom once did for her. "I see you," she would say. Humans listened, aliens watched. Some species changed their laws, slowly, painfully. Others resisted, building walls instead of bridges. The galaxy felt different now, not safe, but awake. On a council world far from the spaceport where it began, Lyra stood in a hall much smaller than the first one, but warmer. She wore simple clothes. No armor, no symbols of power. Tom sat behind her, older now. Hair touched with gray, still steady. A council member spoke. "You are here as a voice." "Not a weapon," Lyra nodded. "I don't want to fight," she said. "I want children to stop asking if they are worth keeping." The room fell quiet. She placed the 3 rusty coins on the table. They no longer glowed. They didn't need to. "These coins once asked a question," she said. "They asked if love could be bought." She pushed them forward. "I learned the answer." A young alien in the back began to cry. A human worker lowered his head. Lyra turned, looking across the room. "My father didn't take these," she said. "He took me." She smiled. Small, strong, after the meeting, they returned to their ship. The same old one, still flying, as they prepared to leave. A small alien child stood at the ramp, holding something and shaking hands. Not coins, just hope. Lyra stepped forward. Tom stayed back. The child looked up. "Is it enough?" they asked. Lyra knelt, just like Tom once did. "You don't pay for family," she said softly. "You choose it." The child smiled, and the galaxy shifted again. As the ship lifted into the stars, messages followed them. Stories, promises, some feared humans, others followed them. But one truth was now impossible to erase. Humanity was not the strongest species, not the fastest, not the most advanced. But when a child asked for help, they answered, and that was enough.